so freaking cool.
It kind of already has googly eyes. Oh, there's a kitty. Hello, kitty. Oh, yeah. What's up, guys? It's Gary. In this episode, I'm going to give you a closer look at some of the junk I dragged home. And we got a couple things here that actually have engines on them, so we'll pour a little bit of gas down them and see if we can't make them run. That one's electric. It's not going to do anything. And those two over there are human powered. So let's get started. Alright guys, so if any of you are new to the channel, you might have just seen my last video, because I know I did gain some subscribers on my last video. I hate to break it to you, but the primary subject matter of this channel is not picking junk out of old farms, but that was a lot of fun, and we did actually get a lot of really cool stuff. In fact, these machines here aren't even scratching the surface of all the stuff I got. I mean, I have my whole shop full right now. I got to go through a lot of stuff. We also brought home, what, 3 motorcycles and a chopper frame. Not even sure what I'm going to do with any of those, except for probably try to get the engines maybe running, and with the exception of the old Honda CB200, the other two are pretty much piles of junk. So the engine is the only thing I was really after on those. But with these machines, we got my friend's old race mower, off-road mower, kind of whatever you want to call it, kind of a build, and then another random free Agway that we got. It's got an opposed twin. Obviously the one over there has an opposed twin. And the little tiny guy that we saved from the dumpster. We are literally in the dumpster. They threw out a piece of history here. And I'll tell you what, this thing is really cool. So it's actually a Springfield, and I don't know what that would have done there, what that would have said, but check it out. Springfield, 32-inch. There is no deck with it. Those side footsteps are obviously, you know, something somebody did at some point. And I was told that they actually used this more or less as a go-kart when they were a kid. It would have been a mighty slow go-kart. I don't know if it's like pulley swapped or anything. I doubt it. And check this out, guys. When I was at the farm, they were going through some old pictures that they found, and look at that. There it is, looking pretty good. Green and white, the chrome handlebars. I mean, it's hard to see in this picture, but it's kind of cool that we found that. But she's in pretty rough shape. Probably part of that is because it was picked up by an excavator and put into a dumpster. I think we can tweak that seat back and those handlebars back. But here's the really cool thing. It actually has an H pattern gearbox in it. A little tiny H pattern 3-speed, which is really cool. And whatever the tubes were they had in the tires, they still hold air. All 4 tires, I aired them up, and they are still holding. So I figure we dump a little bit, dump a little bit of gas down this thing and pull it over. It does turn over, so we'll see if it runs. I'm going to do the same thing with this old Agway GT 1846. It says GT, but It's really just a lawn tractor. I wouldn't call this a garden tractor. It's got 3/4 axles on, I think it might be like a Peerless 900 series or something. It might even be earlier. I'm not sure. It's an old transaxle on this thing. 18 horse opposed twin. Gotta love that. And it turns over, so you know it'll run. In fact, this thing's been sitting for probably decades. The tires are so flat that they won't hold air, or they were so flat that they're completely split from being kind of smushed out there, so they don't hold air. But I have a feeling, put a gas in the tank in this thing, and this thing's just gonna run. My friend's mower, he built this, I don't know, maybe 5 years ago, maybe more. And it is actually based on the same exact chassis as mine. I realized I never actually said what we do here. So if you guys are new, the primary focus of my channel is typically taking mowers like this stock Agway here and turning them into what you see here, which I call the hot rod tractor. And that actually started out as a Craftsman LT2000, and it is now the hot rod tractor. So my friend's mower here was actually the same chassis, and you can actually see the dramatic difference just having those side by side. Mine is actually 16.5 inches longer wheelbase than stock. His is, I believe, still the stock wheelbase, or it might be slightly, no, I think that's the stock. Yeah, no, it is slightly extended in the front. He moved the axle forward a little bit. Rear axle is still in the stock position, and it's kind of cool. No suspension on this thing, but he did put suspension on the seat, so it's not quite as rough a ride as they usually are. He started putting fenders on it, and that was kind of where he stopped. I guess he only got the one fender made, but it's a pretty cool setup, and it's really well built. My friend Craig is much better than I am at building things and welding and everything like that. Really cool 2-into-1 setup, just using the stock pipes. Probably it looks like a multitude of stock pipes from multiple engines to make them that long, and into the custom glass pack muffler. Yeah, so that is looks like about a 2-inch, 2.5 or 2.25 maybe, just regular exhaust pipe, and then it has a perforated tube. You know, you can actually just buy like perforated tube off of eBay or Amazon, and then it's packed like a glass pack. So he built the custom glass pack. It sounds really good, so you'll hear it when we get it started. It probably won't do justice on camera though. Now this thing was set up, he did a motorcycle tank setup on this. I forget what kind of bike, but it was like an enduro, and it had a motorcycle tank. So you can actually see where that motorcycle tank would have grabbed on right there, which that would be, I guess, the front of the tank, and the back of the tank bolted there. Has the really good steering box, and one thing that I'm not a big fan of, Craig, if you're watching, I don't know if I ever told you this, but the steering wheel is way too small. He's also bigger than me, so he probably needed to put a steering wheel that was smaller in order to actually drive this thing. But I love the old school big steering wheels. So, you know, similar setup on mine, but also different. 2-into-1 equal length header on this, going to a 1 3/4 out the back. Oh, there's a kitty. Hello, kitty. Hey. Well, kitty don't listen. All right, so what do we have up here? Well, I did show you the pedal car in the last episode. Not really much to show you there. I mean, it's a stamped steel body with some wheels on it. Very cool, though. This tricycle, I think they're both AMF, actually. So this is made by AMF. And if you guys know, like, AMF made a lot of things. They made bowling balls. They actually were partnered up with Harley Davidson in the late 70s. Mid to late 70s, I believe. So you'll see there's a whole entire era of AMF Harley Davidson stuff. And then at that same time, they made other types of motorcycles that were like Aramachi, Harley Davidson, stuff like that. I'm kind of talking out of somewhere that I shouldn't be, because I'm not that knowledgeable about that. But regardless, this is a true gem right here. Unfortunately, it is in rough shape. Somebody went and cut the rear fenders and put those giant tires on, but I am going to do an entire video just discussing this thing and showing its intricacies, its chassis design, and kind of what it is. We're going to talk about the history of this thing. I'll just tell you right off the bat, it's literally a 1955 or 56. I mean, you see it has a 55 or 56 Thunderbird body on it. Well, that's actually how old this thing is. So really cool, might have some value, and it is actually electric. It would have went 5 miles an hour in its day, but like I said, I'm going to do an entire video just on that. So in this video, we're just going to focus on these machines here with the engines. The motorcycles will be in another video. We'll try to get those running as well. But let's see if these opposed twins and that little tiny single cylinder, I think it's a Tecumseh, see if that'll run. As I just go on and ramble like I usually do, and you guys are like, stop talking and start turning some engines over. So let's, I guess let's start with this little tiny one. So one thing I noticed when I was messing with it the other day, I'm sure this probably happened when they put it in the dumpster. There's quite a bit of damage done here. This is all bent. Everything is stuck and jammed up. So I think what I'm going to do is take this plate right off. Wow, it's actually pretty thick too. We're going to take this plate off here and see if the throttle linkage is stuck or anything. Oh, hey, look. Well, that answers that question. The throttle is actually not stuck. Is that the, yeah, that's the throttle. The choke, of course, is what's jamming us up. So actually, before I go and taking this off, I might be able to just tweak it out of the way and move that choke. There we go. Look at that. Bring it back to life. Oh, whoops. There we go. How do you like that? Yeah, it's just as good as a hammer. All right, hey, restored. Now let's see. Oh wow, look at that. Somebody welded that back together. I don't know if you guys can see that, but all right, so, oh, that's the throttle right there. And that's the choke. That makes sense. All right, so that choke works, except for it doesn't want to stay choked. Let me pop this air filter off. Who knows what the heck is going on in there? Wow, is this just... I used to have a go-kart with an air filter just like this. There should be a screw. It appears, yeah, I remember this now. My go-kart had a very... There she goes. Yep. Oh, wow. Well, it's a little dirty on the outside, but on the inside it's quite clean. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that air filter, actually. So, that choke works all the way, too. Alright, well, let's just, we don't really need a choke if we're just going to try to hit it on some spray. I'm just going to spray a little brake clean in there and see if she'll go. So let me tell you something real quick about using starting fluid or ether versus using brake clean. On a gas engine like this, I definitely recommend using brake clean. It's a lot less harsh for the engine. So what I mean by that is if you use ether, it'll knock really bad. Like when it starts firing on the ether, it'll basically sound like it's blown up. It'll literally sound like a rod knock. Doesn't do that really with the brake clean. Maybe not as much. More maybe not at all. It's way worse with the ether than it is with brake clean. Now if you're dealing with a diesel, you're going to want ether. It's going to knock also, but diesels knock. That's how they work, so that's all right. All right, let's give her a little bit of juice. And spark plug wire's on there. You know what? What kind of actual throttle control does this thing have? That's actually, you know, that's interesting. I don't have any sort of, I guess maybe it's like a push mower. It's just set to go wide open, I guess. I mean, let's see. No, because that would be, there's no, you know what it is? I think the cable is missing. I bet the cable is missing. Where would it have, look, there's something right there. Oh, is that? Oh, yeah. That is the throttle. What am I thinking? That makes sense. Just like a, more or less like a push mower. So that's throttle, and that's choke. Alright, so we'll give her a bit of throttle. And let's see what she does. Might have to check to see if we have spark here in a minute. Although if it's not firing on ether, it probably don't have spark. I wonder what's in the gas tank. Well, actually, nothing, and it's a good sign because it looks really clean in there. It's a metal gas tank. Look at that. Wait a minute, can you focus? Look how clean it is in there. Is that incredible or what? There is not a spot of rust in there. I hope you guys can see that. I don't have my flashlight on me. There you go. Look at that. That's absolutely incredible. It must be like galvanized in there or something. So this thing almost certainly has points. And I'm probably going to have to pull the I'm going to have to pull the top in order to get to the points. In fact, it's actually under the flywheel on this. It's going to be a real pain to do that. So keep trying here real quick. Don't be shy with it. Oh yeah, I think she's probably got no spark. Bloody heck. Well, I'm not going to pull that thing apart right now and mess with the points. Like I said, we're fighting the weather here. The rain is coming again, and it rained like hell earlier. So this thing is just going to... This thing's probably just going to fire up with some gas and some power. So I'm going to put a battery to this, and I got a test tank. I'm just going to hook a test tank up to it with some fresh gas in it, and we'll see if it goes. Alright, so there's actually no gas in this, which is excellent. Although it's probably so old that if there was any, it's probably why it's gone, because it's so old. The fuel line, definitely not good. However, fairly confident that it will hold fuel. That one's actually not bad. And that side is bad. But I think it'll actually work. I'm going to put gas actually in this thing, right in the gas tank. Hopefully I don't regret that and have gas just pouring out everywhere.
And you're leaking shit.
Oh no, where? It's fuel. Let's get that nasty battery out of there. And I think what I'll do, because also, oh man, that sucks. We got some cable issues to deal with too. Let's see, can we get a date on this battery? Doesn't look that old, to be honest. I'm not seeing a date. Oh, are you? You guys are looking at a date. May 2000. Oh, no way. May 2002. Yeah, that's pretty old. Not the greatest location for this ground to be going on this engine, but it was there, so it should work. All right, let me show you a little trick too. If you're going to go and start one of these, whether it's new or old or anything, if you're not sure that it's going to actually turn over and you don't know how much power you got, let me just show you something. So just like you would do on an old motorcycle with a kickstart, you want it to be Well, it's kind of actually the opposite. It's not quite how you do an old motorcycle with a kickstart, but it's the same principle. So what we're going to actually do is back it up, turn it backwards until it's just on the other side of that compression stroke. So that way it has, see, a really free and easy. Basically what that does is it gives it a nice easy head start, and it'll bump into that compression. Whereas so on an old motorcycle, you'd actually do the opposite. You'd set it up right before the compression, because you're kick starting it, and it would you'd kick right through that compression stroke. In this case, we're using the starter. We want to actually have that little bit of extra spin, and it'll make its way past the compression a lot easier. So let's engage the brake. Oh, how in the world? Incline brake. There she goes. Ah, bloody heck. What are we doing wrong here? Everything up. Safety switch. That safety switch. This safety switch is disconnected. Shouldn't matter on an old machine like this, I don't think. As long as everything else is in place. Nope. I don't think there's a neutral safety on the switch. Alright, let's put some gas in it. Well, there's another kitty friend coming to visit. Not pulling fuel. Dry as a bone. Let's see. Well, it's clear. Oh. I wonder if it was clogged. try that now. We got a fuel pump issue with this thing. Which on these, the fuel pump is right here at the carburetor. The first thing it's on the carburetor. It's vacuum operated off of the engine crankcase. We got carburetor issues, probably the fuel pump. This is when these old Agways are a real pain, because now look, the body work is all connected up to the front of this thing. You gotta unbolt everything to get to it. Well, I did just say we were gonna pour some fuel down their necks and see if they'll actually fire up. I didn't say we were gonna like go and fix them right now. So that's a success. That actually fires up. That runs really good. But we need to do something with the carburetor. It's probably just that fuel pump. I have a couple other ones laying around. I might be able to put something together that works. The unfortunate thing is with these, it's so cheap to just get a carburetor that I'll probably just end up having to get a whole entire carburetor rather than just rebuild the fuel pump. So let's move on to the Craigo machine. So my friend Craig built this thing, like I said, like maybe 5 years ago or more. And it has the same engine, Briggs opposed twin, so this one needs a test tank because there is no gas tank, and I am very confident this one will actually just run. What do we have here? Let me see what we have here. Perfect. Do you believe that is connected? Yep. I don't think we have a choke on this, do we? No, it appears the choke's been gutted off of this thing. She's pulling fuel. She might need a little help since it has no choke. Yeah, you knew I was going to do that, right? What is that noise? maybe the tack's not hooked up. Man, she stinks. It's been sitting so long, all that farm dust is on there just burning off. It really smells. Runs perfect though. I'm almost thinking about stealing an idler pulley off my other one here just to try and drive it. It'd be kind of a challenge with the gas tank between my legs, but actually it fits there kind of nicely. Yeah, I think we might have to try that. Alright, well, it's a good thing I basically got a Mower junkyard now. I stole the idler pulley off of that, what used to be a Husqvarna with the Sears Suburban hood on it. So we'll be getting that thing going again eventually. But this thing should actually drive now. So let's go ahead and take it for its maiden voyage in probably over 5 years. Thing freaking rips, and because it's so light. Oh, does it stop? Oh wait, do we got? My damn gas tank's in the way of the gears here. Oh, whoops, I forgot. It's actually all the way backwards for reverse. Gonna have to do something with this gas tank. So at this point I realized my camera was at about 6%. There was no way I was getting this video done with that. So I needed to zip tie the gas tank onto the frame. So I went inside, put the camera on charge for a little bit, zip tied the gas tank on, took a drink of water, and then when I came back outside, I also had set I set the phone screen to like ultra dim, like literally as dim as it could go, so that the battery would last longer, because I only got it up to like 12 or 13%. And of course, I forgot to put it on the wide angle lens. So the next bit of footage of driving does not do it justice at all. This is horrible. I was going to redo it. I was going to go out in the morning, actually, which has not happened yet. I was going to wait till the morning and the sun comes up. It is Saturday right now while I'm editing this, Saturday night. And the thing is, it's raining. It's going to be raining all day tomorrow, and I don't want to have the video get out so late for you guys. So here it is. We're really poor, pointless footage, but it's kind of, I'm putting it in here because getting up there and seeing my friend at the store was kind of funny, and then it kind of leads to the next thing we're going to look at after this. Oh no, where?
Underneath the
Oh shit, that's, see you later, I'll talk to you about it later. It's fuel. I didn't build this one, I'll show you next time the one I built.
Alright, be careful.
Alright, that thing's actually really fast. It must be because it's so much lighter and smaller than mine. But we had a bit of a mishap. The fuel tank, the temporary fuel tank, was rubbing right on the belt because of the way that I had it. And it literally just burned the belt right through the fuel tank. Well, that's that for now. But that isn't quite it. Well, it's 7 o'clock. It's about after 7. I want to throw the battery on my other one there and head up to the store and see what she thinks about that one.
Dude, this is so freaking cool. Can you race this? Is this a racing?
Well, I mean, it's not like legal for any sanctioning body of mower racing.
Okay.
It's just like straight up custom whatever I wanted to do. But
Will
so,
it stop you from bogging
well, don't burn
out in,
yourself.
like, mud and stuff?
That is just, that part there is the exhaust.
Okay.
So, yeah, exhaust pipe's got a 2-in-1 header. It's a V-twin, about 20 horsepower, 25 horsepower.
Oh my god.
And
So cool.
it's, so basically, this is the same exact, like, base chassis that the other one was.
Okay.
This is the same mower, just much differently modified with a different engine.
It looks so much longer than...
Yeah, it's, so it's 16.5 inches longer wheelbase than the original mower.
Which way is this looking?
Oh, it has to be like these little fasteners.
Oh, okay.
They're called Zeus fasteners. So I built this thing a long time ago, kind of in a certain variation. That's why everything's kind of rusty on it.
Yeah, but like being able to see all of that inside. That's
Yeah.
so cool.
And like the steering drop and all that's custom. Like obviously, you know, a mower typically has the steering wheels like perfectly straight up.
This is like a low rider dune buggy mower.
Exactly.
And it's got no deck. I mean, could you put a deck on it tomorrow? If you
Theoretically, yes, you could still set it up with a deck.
Okay.
I have another one that I built, which isn't as nearly as fast. I have another one that I built and just left the mower deck on, and then I just went around my property mowing like a little bit faster than stock, but not like crazy. So I will probably do one that's just stupid that goes really fast and mows.
Well, you know what it needs, right?
What's that?
Come on now, you know me. Googly eyes.
Oh, googly eyes. It
Gotta
kind of
have
already has
googly
googly eyes.
Gotta have googly eyes. Got to. Have googly eyes, will travel. Should it be on the front? One.
You guys still open?
No, sorry, we're closed for the night. Haha!
Perfect.
Awesome. This is so cool.
Yeah,
Thanks for
so
breaking it down.
so that other one that I just leaked gas all over the place with,
Yes.
I had just set up a temporary gas tank
Okay.
to where I could drive it a little bit. And there's a drive belt. It runs off of a belt. The mower runs off of a belt, and
Okay.
so it was rubbing right on the tank, and
Oh.
literally it just like scraped right through the tank, and
Right through.
yeah.
Wow. So wait a second. What is this? Is this gonna
Steering.
your steering? Okay.
Yep, that's the steering. Yeah, it's all mower parts. Like it's modified, but it's still
Right.
using like all mower parts, except for like the actual joints are stuff that mowers don't have. Like they're like they're stronger, safer, kind of like more car-like type joints on it.
And it's all typically covered. You know, you go look at a mower, you don't get to see anything at all.
Right, yeah. And they're like basically they're mower tires and wheels, but these would normally only be on the back.
Right,
They're just the bigger ones on the front.
And they're not gonna deflate.
No, and the only thing about it that sucks is there's no suspension whatsoever, so it's a rough ride. But it's just fun as hell to drive. It's all about like it's a budget kind of way, like this it cost me nothing basically to build. But I also used to work at a mower shop, so a lot of the parts I collected.
Okay.
But like you can get a basic mower, like pretty much the same mower for like $150. People like, you know, they'd still something be wrong with it, and they're like, I don't know how to fix it.
Right.
You can find the mower for $150, and if you can weld and kind of have imagination, you can have something like this.
My sister used to take the mower and go down to Mobile to get gas, and then down to Twin Cone to get ice cream, and then to
Yep.
the gas station again, and then fill it back up.
It'll do about 50 miles an hour.
Whoa.
I've had my GPS on my phone, a GPS thing, and went 50 with it.
I don't know if I could handle 50.
Yep. It drives actually like at like 40 or 50 miles an hour, one hand on the wheel, it drives pretty good.
Really?
Yeah. And I used to have, when I did that, I had different wheels and tires. I had trailer wheels, like, you know, the tall, skinny, they're like real skinny, made for the road.
Right.
So it was a lot smoother. These tires are like, they're not balanced at all. So it's like kind of going down the road.
Dude, this is so amazing.
Thank you. I'm glad you like it. I had a feeling, I didn't even think about you when I drove up here, and then I saw you looking, I'm like, oh god, she's gonna freaking flip out over this thing. Alright, that's gonna do it for this one. Yeah, I definitely need a little bit of work filming people's reactions. I had her head cut off for about half of that interaction, but that was pretty funny. That was actually really enjoyable. Yeah, so if you guys are wondering about that other project I left you hanging on about 3 weeks ago, really actually happy with the way that thing's turning out, and so you guys can look forward to an episode coming up on that. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I do really appreciate you guys watching, and go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe, and share it with your friends. So I will indeed see you next time, and thanks for watching.